Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe back with another look at Armored Warfare. And today I've got some live stream highlights for you featuring the Leopard 1, M109, M60, as well as the LAV 150. Now, before I get into analyzing any of the footage, I want to answer a few questions. First and foremost, SideStrafe, what do you think of this game versus World of Tanks? Currently, I prefer this game to World of Tanks. I think it removes a lot of the frustrations. World of Tanks has a fantastic core foundation, but I think this builds upon it. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we actually get to some artillery gameplay later in the video. Next up, in regards to early access, should I buy my way in? And if so, which Founders package should I purchase? Now, I will never tell anybody to buy their way into an early access. I don't believe in paying for a testing phase. However, if your gut instinct tells you that you're absolutely going to love this game, maybe you spent hours of your life and tons of money on World of Tanks, then yeah, you'll probably like this game. But with that said, go in erring on the side of caution, because the testing is limited. There's a European and North American server, and they're not up 24/7. That will change in time, but currently it's limited testing. So know that going in and consider yourself warned. Now, you are dead set on getting into this game. You have to play. You're tired of living vicariously through others. So, which package out of the three should you buy? First one, let's face it, it's not a great value. Probably intentional. I would suggest at bare minimum of the second, because at least you're going to get a tier 4 wheeled tank destroyer as well as a commander and some more premium time in gold. Third package is $70, which is pretty much the cost of a digital deluxe edition these days for a AAA title. You are getting a lot out of it. 4 premium tanks, 2 of which are 1-year exclusives. The commander from the other package, as well as a lot more premium time and gold. So yeah, if you've got the cash, you think you're going to love the game, go for it. On top of that, it will provide you with vehicles that might help you bring down people like Dealman here, who would rather be killed by Jingles. And I feel that if we all band together and fight the Deal men and women of the world in our premium vehicles without being Jingles, then that might be an even bigger bang for our buck. Now, moving right along, switching temperatures, maintaining tanks. Leopard 1 back in action. This time we've got Bismarck and Sircon in the match with me. Only downside, they're in Europe, I'm in the United States, so I have to flip between the different servers. On the plus side, Armored Warfare, you only need 1 account and 1 client. You don't have to have a separate installation of the game per server like World of Tanks. The downside, of course, is that your progress is not shared across servers, so if I unlock the Leopard 1 on the European server, I don't have it on the North American. I'm hoping that they can resolve this in the future. I don't know if it's a technical issue. I don't know if it's a legality. War Thunder seems to be the only game that doesn't have this restriction. You can just log in with 1 account, 1 application, and choose what server you want to queue up for. I don't know how they get around that. Funny enough, as Gaijin is one of the more greedy companies out there, they're the ones that have figured it out. I'm hoping that at the very least, maybe they can incorporate some sort of guesting system, or maybe even allow for your premium vehicles to play cross-server, just to give you something to join your friends, because that's often the issue I run into. I have a lot of friends that love vehicular combat games that live in Europe. Anyways, taking a look at the action here, Leopard 1 popping in and out of cover. We've got Bismarck next to us in his swing fire, which is a vehicle that I fear more than any other, really, just because it has an insane view range that it's, in a way, acting like artillery. So I think it's something that needs to be tweaked. There are quite a few complaints about that vehicle across the board, so hopefully it is something that will be addressed in time. It is, of course, early on in the test. Main battle tanks aren't even really as potent as they could be, at least in regards to mobility, which I believe is a known issue, something that will be addressed. And speaking of addressing concerns, keep in mind that a lot of the patches and content that we'll see throughout this game's development cycle happens at a delay. A lot of the feedback, the criticisms, data collected from these tests don't happen until a phase after. So just be patient early on. We'll see how things go and how Obsidian maintains this game over the years. But moving on from that, final target sighted. He's behind this building now. We're closing in on him. I'm going to go distract him since I have more health here. And we've got Sircon moving in from the flank, I believe, as well. Doesn't help that I'm hitting walls. That is going to slow me down quite a bit. We're going to travel on through here and see if we can catch this guy's attention. I'm pretty confident that I can take a few hits. Worst case scenario, I get hit in the ammo, but I've got some cover here from the wall as well. Shots traded. Still looking at me. Sircon in for the finish. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for. My opinion on artillery. Some gameplay footage of me playing artillery in Armored Warfare. Now, as you know, I can't stand artillery in World of Tanks. I think its implementation is absolutely horrible. Now, Armored Warfare has done something about it. You can see these pings that are popping up on the minimap. These red circles. That's indicating where the enemy artillery is firing from. Only I, as an artillery piece, have this anti-arty radar. Now you can see that ping again. That leads us to this artillery piece's location. He's hiding in a bush. He thinks this is World of Tanks. It's not. You gotta move every time you fire. We lit him up. He burns out. One shot, one kill. Now that's only really going to happen against arty, not necessarily against main battle tanks, because you can't one-shot vehicles as arty, but you can watch people drive off cliffs. Of course, if a vehicle's low enough on health, then you can eliminate it. Now this is a Leopard 1, direct hit, but as you can see, he didn't lose a drastic amount of HP, but he did take some module damage. So you are there as a support vehicle. You can damage, you can track, you can suppress, you can make that enemy fall back because they're getting a notification. There's an icon that pops up above your gun reticle that shows incoming arty, and it gives you a few seconds to move forward, backward, sideways, whichever. Now, of course, most people want to move back, so it's good to aim behind them. Artillery pieces do not get this warning though, so you just have to keep moving. See this guy taking the shot, no notification, and eliminated. Ladies and gentlemen, I haven't really heard anybody say that they don't think that this is a good idea. It seems like this is just a more effective way to balance artillery in an arcade-style tank game. I think it's just more challenging for the arty player because they're having to deal with other arty pieces from the very beginning of the match. You're in a fight with them, you're in a fight with everybody else on the map. You have to provide a support role. It's just far more respectable and challenging. And if you have to implement artillery in some sort of World of Tanks style, then this is the way to do it. Okay, back with some more main battle tank action. This is, of course, the M60 Patton, the tank that everybody loves to hate, mostly due to its lack of speed and maneuverability. As I mentioned earlier, the turning speed on these tanks is something that is going to be addressed in a future patch. As far as the forward moving speed of an M60, not exactly the fastest thing on the planet historically, but I think that there are room for scaling tweaks to make it a little bit more potent on road surfaces and things like that. But anyways, backing me up, I've got Bismarck and Baroness, aka Rita Gamer. She joined us on a live stream a few days ago. Had a lot of fun playing with her. Looking forward to a few more games with her in the future. And they are actually playing as scouts should. They are moving forward and observing. They are also marking targets. This is going to allow me to hit the enemy from extreme ranges, do maximum damage if they're marked, and just in general maintain stealth because the enemy is so far out of range that they can't see me even while I'm shooting. This is how the scout MBT combo should be. I see a lot of light vehicles, infantry fighting vehicles out there not pushing forward and scouting the objectives. They're not out there finding enemies. They're more so concerned with staying by main battle tanks. You have to realize that MBTs are pretty much blind in this game. They need light vehicles to move forward and find these targets so that we can just sit back like this and snipe. This is what it's all about, and it might be frustrating to some of the people getting hit, but, well, that's why their scouts need to move up and do their job. Of course, let's face it, we are at an advantage. We do have communication. We were on TeamSpeak, and it's easier for people to coordinate such movements with voice communications. I know some people are asking for in-game voice comms. I have to be honest, I probably wouldn't use them just because I'm usually recording or streaming, or I'm already on TeamSpeak with other people, so I can't say that I would utilize it, but I'm not against such a thing existing. I know it would be helpful to some of you, but of course I'm usually on TS or recording something or live streaming, and in-game voice comms are usually pretty rough, so it's hard for me to want to have that kind of thing turned on. But anyways, back to base to prevent a capture. We've got Rita and Bismarck working on the cap on their end of the field and doing a good job. That's of course another thing for light vehicles to get in there and do. I'm not too worried about these guys. I've got more health, more armor, and they've got some cover, but it's no big deal. We aren't out capping them, and I'm just going to move in and try to do what I can here. But I think it's going to be too little, too late as they secure the victory via capture. Okay, final match of the day, back in the good old LAV 150. Some people don't like this thing. I love this little son of a gun. It's so much fun. Look at it. You just run around and drop things with autocannons. And in this matchup, joining me, we had Bombadil of No Guts, No Galaxy, one of his first games. He's got his trusty PT-76. And yeah, I just enjoy vehicles with maneuverability, and I think that I will probably love wheeled tank destroyers in this title. I haven't gotten one yet. I am looking to acquire one just because having speed and sniper potential is something that I think caters to my playstyle. But here, backing me up, Bombadil once again. We've got some enemy PT-76s, just letting them have it, autocannon, suppressing fire. I could potentially go around, but I didn't want to leave Bombadil by himself because I think by the time I get around there, they'll just charge him and eliminate him. So I figured I'll stay here, suppress, and absolutely wreck another PT-76. So Bombadil's letting them have it as well. I'm reloading, moving up, not wanting to get in his way. Keep that in mind. Do not tailgate, do not block friendlies, and they'll love you forever. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope that you've enjoyed today's look at Armored Warfare. I will definitely have a lot more for you as the development continues to progress, so stay tuned to the YouTube channel as well as twitch.tv. I have links in the description below for you if you want to check out that channel. I've been streaming this game quite a bit, mostly so that those of you who don't have access can see what the game is like and make some buying decisions in regards to Founders Packs. It's a great game. I think there's a lot of potential here. I do believe it to be better than World of Tanks, and I think that Wargaming can actually learn a lot from this title and perhaps make their game better in the future. Will they care? Time will tell. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you all so very much for joining me. Always appreciated, and I will definitely see you on the next one.